off-roaders. I want to share with you a trip we made into the San Rafael Swell with our Polaris RZR Pro. As you can see from the map, the San Rafael Swell is just filled with canyons and mesas and all kind of things, geological formations that make Utah just a wonderful place for side-by-siding. One of the first things we came up to on this trip was a rock art known as the Head of Sinbad. I've seen this on a map before and I always thought, wow, what a cool name. I got to go check this place out. So it did not disappoint. You can see the snake figures that are from the barrier style of the pictographs. Specifically, the Kachina type figures are what are shown in these pictures, but this area is right beside the expressway, right up close to the beginning of the trail. Soon you'll carry along and you'll come up along the Devil's Racetrack. The Devil's Racetrack, or the Razorback, maybe it's the whole area is known as, is a difficult stretch of off-roading. You can see right here that, even getting up these little shelves is hard to do. There's a lot of loose sand on the rocks. You'll spend a lot of time spinning your wheels, and you have to kind of gun it a little bit. At least we had to. And it can kind of be nerve-wracking because you're out here, you're a good ways away from anybody else. We were in this area on the first week of April, so spring break, and still no one was around. We passed two groups of side-by-siders. You can see them right here, is one of them. This point, I'm not sure what's called the Devil's Racetrack or what's the Razorback. I'm not sure what the names mean, but I know this spot right here did not look that hard, but it's just, it puts you in such an off-camber situation that it's hard to get through. So you can see on my 64-inch vehicle that it wedged right in on our tires, and we had to back up and then come forward again to actually get over it. It's just kind of an awkward situation. And this RZR is a long four-seater. I've actually been through here before on a Can-Am two-seater, and we didn't even have a problem. We just went straight through, no worries. It's kind of weird to me how sometimes a long vehicle works better and sometimes a short one works better. At the Golden Crack, more near Moab, we went through with the RZR, no problem whatsoever. But when the Can-Am Maverick two-seater came through, it rolled over on its side. So, you never know what you're going to get in Utah. There's always these different obstacles, and they challenge every type of vehicle. Even on the same trail, you can find things that one vehicle gets through and the other one doesn't. As always is the case, cameras just don't do justice to the rocks. You could see how the side-by-side just popped up and almost rolled over. So what looks flat in the video, trust me, when you're going over this, you're going to be pulling your butt cheeks really tight. I mean, it doesn't look like anything. It looks like flat land. But you can see I have a wheel off the ground, and this is a 1,600-pound vehicle, so me pushing against it, it's not going to do much for it. Probably not the smartest thing to do.
Back on up.
But if that helps the driver feel a little better, whatever, we'll take the chance.
Probably cut it there.
So this obstacle took us quite a while to get through this whole ridge. One of the interesting things about this ridge is that on either side there's huge drop-offs. So even though you could clearly roll over right here and you're not going to fall off the edge, trust me, when you're sitting in this side-by-side, you're feeling like, man, if I roll over right here, I'm going off the edge, and it's going to be 500 feet to the bottom. It's just, and once you get one rocky area, like not rocky, but one tippy area, it kind of ruins your confidence. So you saw earlier the wheel come up in the air. After that happens, you're just kind of scared for the next, until you get through this obstacle. You're kind of just, I guess you've lost your nerve a little bit. But you can see the drop off on the passenger side of the vehicle. It's a huge canyon over there. And I mean, maybe 300 to 500 feet high we are right here above the canyon. And all of these, when you can get the right angle, all of these little ledges are really big. You can kind of get an idea how steep it is right there. I mean, it's a pretty steep angle on the Razor. Get a little level out, catch your breath here for a second. And then you can see we're right up against the edge. This area, the elevation's a good bit higher than Moab. So even on the first week of April, there's still a good bit of snow laying around in the shadows. This area, I think, is called Coal Point. It's spelled with a K, not a C on my map. So I'm not sure if there's actual coal, the mineral, in the area, or if it's named after someone. I'd like to explore this area more with somebody that knows the history a little better, but it's really a cool area. Then after the ridge, you drop down and you can take the trail to the right and go upstream in this canyon. It leads to this impressive arch. It's just a really big arch. It doesn't look that big from this angle right here, but when you get up next to it, it is huge. So just look at my friend, he's hiking up in it, and you can get an idea just how big this thing is. He's just a little dot as he climbs up the rocks just to get to the opening. When you get up there, you're going to lose your breath. It's a long ways up there. You can tell by how small the side-by-side is from on the top of it. There's this little sliver of a ridge up there, and if you got the nerves, you can crawl out there. I did. Probably dumb move looking at it from this angle, but when you're out there with some friends, you're just not really thinking about that. You're just out having a good time. And this is one heck of a cool little spot, just in the arch. And then you're on top of this little ridge, trying to keep your balance as you walk out there. You can tell that, you know, I threw my hands up in the air, but I would say I wasn't too confident. One of my favorite things, we came back down the canyon, and then from the original intersection, we made a left, and we started going up, climbing out of the canyon, and kind of circling around the wilderness area. I think this is Cold Wash Wilderness Area. There's two wilderness areas out there, but just the way the sun is shining on these rocks, it just looks like a big giant temple out there or something. It's beautiful. You'll also notice that the rocks in this area, the San Rafael Swell, they're not the same color as the red rocks in Moab. They have a little more of a mellow hue to them, a yellowish hue. This is Eagle Canyon. You can see right above there is the interstate. And we'd been out here all day. This took us all day, and we finally got the Eagle Canyon Arch. This is the kind of thing that I would spend 30, 40 minutes crawling around, looking around, exploring, but it was getting late in the day. You can tell by the shadows are getting longer, so we just stopped long enough to get a picture, and then we continued on to what is called the ice box. And it doesn't take much imagination to figure out why this is called the ice box. Just look at all the ice and snow that's still in this area while everything else has melted away. And that's kind of back where that rock is, you can see in the background. And then in the foreground was Swasey's cabin. And then from Swasey's cabin, it's just a short little jaunt down to the Lone Warrior pictograph panel. We hope you enjoyed this adventure. And if you want to plan a trip to San Rafael Swell or the Moab area, we hope you'll consider staying with us at Moab Adventure Condo. We're located right south of Moab in Spanish Valley. Beautiful place, centrally located in many of the most famous trails, popular areas of Moab. Thank you.